guys, it's Super Few Games or Adam, and welcome to the evolution of Call of Duty Zombies. So what we're going to be doing in this video is we're not going to be talking about storyline, but we're going to be talking about gameplay. We're going to start off at Nacht Der Untoten and work our way up to Revelations and see what was added into Call of Duty Zombies along the way, where we started and where we are now. Now, before we actually start this off, I do have to mention one thing. I am not going to be going into crazy detail with everything added into COD Zombies. We're just going over general gameplay features added in. And remember that, gameplay features, so there might be some things like Easter egg related and all that stuff that I'm most likely not going to mention. We're talking about gameplay features that were added into each of the Call of Duty Zombie maps. Nacht Der Untoten is the first ever Call of Duty Zombies map in COD Zombies history. Everything in COD Zombies was built on top of this map. This is the foundation for Call of Duty Zombies and has the basic things that are still now in COD Zombies. And we're talking about wall weapons, doors, the random box, and rebuildable barriers. All four of those things are still in Call of Duty Zombies today. When it comes to Verrückt, I feel like this map is a little overlooked in Call of Duty Zombies, especially when it comes to what it did for Call of Duty Zombies, because this map did so much. First thing is it introduced the power switch. It's the first map to ever have a power switch. Perks. This map introduced perks. The original four: Quick Revive, Juggernog, Speed Cola, and Double Tap 1.0. Now, of course, Double Tap 2.0 had a different version in Black Ops 2, but these original four perks were pretty much on every zombie map after this map. Not all of them, but a lot of them, and that's absolutely insane. Also, this map introduced traps, specifically electric traps, and the teddy bear, which moves the box around the map. Shinonuma also did a lot for Call of Duty Zombies. The first thing it did is it introduced dogs, the first ever dog round, or a boss round. Also, the random box light. Whenever you're looking up in the sky looking for that random box, just know that Shinonuma was the first map to introduce this. Also, the original four characters, Takeo, Nikolai, Dempsey, and Richtofen, first made their appearance in Call of Duty Zombies on this map. Also, the first map to have transportation, movable perks, and I guess you can call it the first wonder weapon, which was the Wonder Buff. Now, of course, the ray gun is a wonder weapon, but the first wonder weapon that wasn't a ray gun was on Shinonuma. Der Riese was the third and final DLC pack for World at War Zombies, and this map also did a lot for Call of Duty Zombies. The World at War maps really built the foundation, and after that it kind of slowed down a little bit. But Der Riese was the first map to introduce the Pack-a-Punch, and I think this is where Zombies really took off, was after Der Riese. You had a Pack-a-Punch system where you could upgrade your weapons. It also introduced teleporters for the first time. Shinonuma had the transportation, but this is the first time we could ever teleport in Zombies. Also, the first viable melee weapon, which was the Bowie knife that is still in Zombies today, and it introduced the monkey bomb for the first time as well. You can see a huge difference from Nacht Der Untoten to Der Riese. Now, everything under Der Riese isn't exactly what's on Der Riese. That's just all the things added into World at War Zombies. But a lot of these things are on Der Riese, actually, in a way, like movable perks. That's on the Giant, the Black Ops 3 version of Der Riese, right? So a lot of these things that were added into World at War Zombies are still present. Like pretty much everything on the list that was added in throughout all of World at War Zombies is in Call of Duty Zombies today. That's absolutely insane. And these are key features to COD Zombies. So that right there for you guys is World at War Zombies. Time to move on to Black Ops 1. Kino der Toten was the first map in Black Ops Ops 1 Zombies, and an interesting fact, Kino was actually supposed to be the 4th DLC for World at War Zombies, but it never happened, so they put it in Black Ops 1. That's why Kino has so many Nazi flags and banners all over the place, because in World at War, it was called Nazi Zombies, and then they changed the name to just Zombies back in Black Ops 1 Zombies, which is kind of interesting. But Kino der Toten did introduce a couple of things. The first thing is the fire sale drop. This is the first map to have the fire sale drop where you can go to the box for 10 points. Also, crawlers. This is the first map that had zombies that weren't zombies, or a different type of zombie, right? And then we're not including dogs or anything like that, because this actually spawns in with the zombies. Also, Kino was the first map to introduce solo quick revive. In World at War Zombies, when you played solo and you bought quick revive and you downed, the game would just end. It didn't work in solo, but in Black Ops 1 and in Kino der Toten, you had solo quick revive, so when you downed, you would automatically revive yourself. 5 came out at the same time as Kino der Toten, but in order to access this map when the game first came out, you actually had to beat the campaign first. Kino you could play right away. That's why I'm putting this as the second map in Black Ops 1 Zombies. But 5 introduced a couple of interesting things that you might not know about. The first thing is 5 had the first ever buildable in Call of Duty Zombies. Now, it's not like a buildable we have now in like Black Ops 3 Zombies, but it was a start. And in order to use one of the traps, or the traps in the starting area, you actually had to go down to the middle level and pick up a part, head back to the trap, and craft it on there so you could actually use it. So this map surprisingly had the first buildable. A lot of people don't know that. Also, it had the bonfire sale, which was only on 5, which would make the Pack-a-Punch only 1,000 points. And it also introduced the Pentagon Thief, or a solo boss. So the first boss round where it's only one zombie or one boss in a round. And the Death Machine was also introduced on this map. Ascension was the first DLC for Black Ops 1 Zombies, and this map introduced a lot of perk-related things. The first thing was PhD Flopper, probably one of the most loved perks in Call of Duty Zombies. It also introduced Stamina Up, and this was actually the first map to not have all 4 of the original perks since their introduction in Varrock. So it only featured Quick Revive, Juggernaut, and Speed Cola. It did not have regular Double Tap 1.0 on this map. And also, this is the first map to have a perk bottle drop, so you can actually get more than 4 perks. One thing that Call of the Dead did that no other map had done up to this point was have multiple wonder weapons on the map at the same time. Call of the Dead had a total of 3 wonder weapons actually. You had the VR11 and the Scavenger, which were both in the box, and then you had the Wonder Waff, and you could get that from completing the Easter egg and killing George. Also, what Call of the Dead did is it introduced Deadshot Daiquiri, one of my favorite perks of all time. Also, it had a moving Pack-a-Punch machine, which was the first map to do that. And also, surprisingly, Call of the Dead was had the first Easter egg that had a trophy or an achievement actually linked to it. No other map had done that yet. Shangri-La really didn't do all that much after Call of the Dead. All Shangri-La introduced was something was actually able to take your power-ups. The monkeys were able to take your power-ups. We've never seen that in Zombies before, and believe it or not, Shangri-La featured the first ever female zombie. Moon was the final DLC pack in Black Ops 1 Zombies, and this map did a couple of interesting things. First of all, it introduced the new perk Mule Kick that's still in Zombies today. Also, this map had the first 2-in-1 wonder weapon, a wonder weapon that was literally 2 completely different weapons. Also, low gravity and low oxygen. Now, this is something I normally wouldn't mention because it's such a small thing, but since low gravity did reappear in Call of Duty Zombies multiple times, I thought I would include it because this map was the first map to kind of start that off. So we have low gravity and also low oxygen areas. You can share / hack items on this map. Everybody wanted to share points somehow. That was available on Moon, and also you could pretty much hack everything. 5 playable characters on this map: Richtofen, Nikolai, Dempsey, Takio, and Samantha. And the reason why I'm including Samantha is I know she's in Richtofen's body, but she has her own quotes and everything like that, so she's pretty much a playable character. And Jug and Speed Cola are never on the map at the same time. Green Run, or as is commonly known as Transit, was the first map in Black Ops 2 Zombies, and of course we're not counting Farm Town or Bus Depot because all those maps were actually in Green Run, and this map did quite a bit. It introduced a lot of new things. First thing was the bank, where you can put your points in, and you can take those points out later that game, in a different game, or even a different map that had the bank. That was actually kind of awesome, but a little OP. Buildable Wonder Weapon, the first map to have a buildable Wonder Weapon. Double Tap 2.0. The one good thing about Transit and that I introduced this perk because it's one of my favorite perks in all of Call of Duty Zombies. Another perk it introduced that didn't survive past Transit was Tombstone. God, this perk was horrible, but it was the first map to have Tombstone. Also, this is kind of a small thing, but a buildable power switch and a buildable pack-a-punch. That right there was kind of weird, but it was on Transit. Weapon locker, same thing as the bank. You put your weapon in there, you can take it out whenever you want or on a different map. And it also introduced perma perks. Die Rise was the second map in the first DLC in Black Ops 2 Zombies, and this map did 2 big things. The first thing is it introduced verticality, something we've never seen before in Call of Duty Zombies. You have perks, Pack-a-Punch going up and down elevators. That was just really weird and new at the time. Also, it introduced a perk, Who's Who. Everyone has their own opinion on Who's Who. I'm not crazy about it, but it can be useful. But other than those 2 things right there, Die Rise really didn't introduce any major gameplay feature. Mob of the Dead was absolutely an amazing map, but it didn't really introduce that many new features into Call of Duty Zombies. The first thing was a new perk, Electric Cherry, which has been on almost all the maps after Mob of the Dead. This map did not have Quick Revive, and the interesting thing about that is this is the first map to not have Quick Revive since its introduction on Verrückt in World at War Zombies. And of course, we're not talking about Bus Depot on Transit because that's part of Transit or Green Run, and Green Run does have Quick Revive. And last but not least, this map introduced Afterlife, and is pretty much the only map to have Afterlife. Buried, just like Mob of the Dead, really didn't introduce that much into Call of Duty Zombies. The first thing was custom wall weapons, and I absolutely loved this feature. You could actually pick where you wanted each of your wall weapons to be around the map. You could draw it on the wall, and that was absolutely epic. The second thing is a new perk, which was Vulture Raid, and the third and final thing, Leroy. Now, Leroy is kind of the first of its kind. It's an AI that kind of helps you around the map. It can kill zombies. Leroy has a ton of different features, and I don't want to go over all of them because there's so many of them, but this is kind of like the first major companion we've had in Call of Duty Zombies. Origins was the final DLC in Black Ops 2 Zombies, and Origins did a couple of interesting things. I think this is the last map that was really impactful as of adding new features into COD Zombies. The first thing was staffs, and not just the staffs. It was the way we got the staffs, because prior to Origins, the way we got wonder weapons was go to the box or craft them. It was pretty simple and pretty straightforward, but Origins changed that because after Origins, it was never the same. How you got the staffs is, of course, you'd get the regular staff, and if you wanted to upgrade it, you wanted to be better, you would have to go do a quest, and that was very unique, and that changed Zombies drastically with that one little thing. Challenges also made their appearance here on Origins. It was the same every single game. In Black Ops 3, it was a bit different. You had different challenges pretty much every game, but here in Origins, it was exactly the same every single game. It also introduced 3 new drops: Zombie Blood, Blood Money, and an empty perk bottle. Before, we had perk bottle drops that actually gave you a perk, but Origins was the first map to have an empty perk bottle where you just get an extra slot. Also, this is the first map you could have 9 perks at once. The map before, I think, was Moon. You could have up to 8 perks at once. Here, you could have a total of 9 perks. I'm not 100% sure on that Moon thing, by the way. And then also, this map introduced the 2.0 characters. The characters we have now in Black Ops 3 Zombies were first introduced here on Origins. Now we're going to talk about Black Ops 3 Zombies in general, because all of the new features that were added to Black Ops 3 Zombies all happened at the beginning of the game, and with DLCs, we really didn't get any new gameplay features. Now, of course, with DLCs, we got, new specialist weapons, and there were new types of zombies and new transportation methods, but all of that was already introduced. Now, of course, it wasn't the same thing, but transportation was already introduced in World at War, and I think Kino der Toten was the first map to have a special kind of zombie, so all of that stuff was already done. All of the really new, impactful gameplay features were all added in at the beginning of the game. So here's what Black Ops 3 added in. The first thing was a brand new perk, Widow's Wine, which is probably one of the best perks in all of Call of Duty Zombies. It is so effective. It also introduced specialist weapons. So pretty much in every map, we have a unique specialist weapon, but it all started with Shadows of Evil and the sword. We have Pack-a-Punch variants. We had double Pack-a-Punch introduced on Green Run, but now we have double Pack-a-Punch and Pack-a-Punch variants. Gobblegums. This is the big thing, because the amount of different things Gobblegums do is insane. I could list every single Gobblegum right now because it's all new to zombies and it's something we've never seen before. But Gobblegums in general is the big new feature of Black Ops 3 Zombies. Also, an AI teammate like the Civil Protector. Now, of course, we have the Keeper Protector on Revelations, but this kind of an AI that assists you, and also if you down, will also revive you at the same time. Sliding was a new feature in Black Ops 3 Zombies as well. It kind of replaced dolphin diving from Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1 Zombies, and I really do like sliding a lot more than dolphin diving. You can get around the map a lot quicker. Swimming was introduced on Zetsubu no Shima. This is kind of surprising that we've never been able to swim in Zombies before, but yes, the first time we could swim in COD Zombies. 3-hit, and this is also a really big thing, is in Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, World at War, it was all 2-hit without Juggernog, and in Black Ops 3, it's a 3-hit. The ranking up system. Now, I know that there's a ranking up system in Black Ops 2. I didn't mention it during the Black Ops 2 section of the video because the ranking up system was very unclear, and nobody really knew how to rank up, how it worked. But here in Black Ops 3, it's very clear. You get XP for killing zombies and surviving rounds and doing things around the map. So the ranking up system in Black Ops 3 Zombies is a little more proper than it was in Black Ops 2. Weapon kits. You can put camos on your weapons, attachments, all of that stuff. You couldn't do that before. And the last big thing, helmets and the wings, of course. Helmets were first introduced on Gorod Krovi, and of course you had the wings as well, and then on Revelations we've had just a ton of different helmets that did a whole bunch of different things. So Black Ops 3 did quite a bit, but as of DLC in Black Ops 3, nothing really happened there. If I was to play Nacht Der Untoten for the first time and never play COD Zombies again until Revelations, I wouldn't think it's the same game, because it isn't the same game anymore. Now, of course, you can see here on the left, we have the basic mechanics still in Zombies, right? Nacht Der Untoten, I said at the beginning of the video, it really built the foundation for COD Zombies, or it was the foundation for COD Zombies. We have the wall guns, doors, random box barriers. All these things are still on Revelations. Now, you can look to the right here, you can see a picture of Revelations of Dempsey in the Apothecon with a death machine and a wolf helmet. And that kind of sums up what zombies is now. It's kind of over the top. It's a little crazy. Gora Krovi has dragons. And some of the enemies we're fighting, it's a little over the top. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because this has to happen, because they have to innovate, they have to constantly improve. And if you actually go back and really pay attention to all the features added in, it's like, how much more can they do? They can't really keep adding and adding and adding and adding, because it becomes too much. And that's a huge difference between Black Ops 3 and World at War. World at War was super basic. What you did is you spawned in, and Verk had perks, Notch didn't. But for talking about perks and pack a punch and all that stuff, you spawn in, you get your perks, you pack a punch, and that's it. On Revelations or Black Ops 3 Zombies, it's a completely different story. You're doing quests for wonder weapons, you're collecting parts around the map, you're doing other quests for upgrading your wonder weapons and Easter eggs and all this crazy stuff. Zombies has definitely come a long way. I'm going to leave you guys with one question that I want you guys to answer in the comments below. Where does Treyarch go from here? Because Zombies, in my opinion, this year, or Black Ops 3 Zombies, already was a little over the top, especially when you compare it to, the previous games, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, World at War. But, of course, that's something they had to do. They had to go bigger and better. But where do they go from this? Do they keep making Zombies more epic, or do you think Black Ops 3 kind of hit that limit? Do you think it stays the same after this? Because I really don't know what they can do to improve on Zombies, right? What else can they add into the game to make it better? So let me know about that in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.